All right. Hello, everyone. This is Matt and Will and Jeremy and Tyler from the Essential Credentials. This is episode 44, the first one of 2021, and we're really, really excited because we have a special guest with us today. Somebody that I think we've all dreamed about talking to at some point, maybe more than once. And that person is Mike Cramer from Pacific. And Mike, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Well, thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely. And got to give a big shout out to Will, of course. Will, thank you for really getting the ball rolling on this and giving us and all these collectors an opportunity to hear from Mike. So thanks a bunch.
Yeah, absolutely. I still can't believe this is happening. I'm so looking forward to the next hour or however long this episode ends up going. This is going to be awesome.
Excellent. And I know, Tyler and I, we've spent a lot of time talking about this brand. Jeremy and I both collecting A-Rod, so this is going to be fun for all of us. So Mike, how have you been the last 20 years? What have you been up to? Anything exciting since you stopped making cards?
I've enjoyed myself, and I've learned to be an artist. I paint miniature figures, and started that about 10 or 12 years ago, and ended up getting good at it and won a World Expo gold medal in 2017. So it's kind of a sideline hobby to collecting, because these little figures I also now collect.
That's great.
And watching my grandkids grow up, that's been very enjoyable.
Wonderful. Awesome. Yeah, it was nice having the chance to chat and be able to see all the passions that you're still pursuing. You're definitely a collector at heart. I think that was one of the first things I told all the guys, was that you were a collector that became a creator of a card company. How did that, I'll just start with this one. How did that all come to being with you and creating the company? Where did you kind of get your ground set up, and where did you start building that to make Pacific?
Well, I started as a collector back in the 60s, and back in the 60s I was one of the first people to go out on buying trips and buy cards and run ads in newspapers, and bought every card I could get my hands on. And then at a certain point I had too many and I started selling them, and it evolved.
Oh no.
Oh,
No. Okay, well, we'll work on getting Mike back, everybody. We've been really working hard to get him on here, so
do you know how close he is to his router?
I was wondering that too myself. I think he's pretty close. I think the office is where everything is. So while we're waiting, we might as well... Oh, there he is. Good, we got it back.
I think it lost it.
There you go. Can you hear us, Mike?
It lost it. So, am I back? I think it lost me there for
you're
a minute.
back.
Did it?
Yeah, it did, but you're back.
Okay, here I'm back.
Yes.
So anyway, during that period, I had accumulated basically millions of cards and started building sets for myself, and got a job as a king crab fisherman in Alaska, and that allowed me to have more money, buy more cards basically, and I ended up buying Topps closeouts starting in about 1973 or 4, and the case of their cards, and started to manufacture plastic sheets and the cardboard boxes that people put cards in. I started to make those first, and had a lot of wholesale clients out there all over the country when people were starting to put in card stores back in the 70s, and I decided I wanted to make my own cards, and I made minor league cards in 1975. That was the first year, and got sponsors like Coca-Cola sponsored my Phoenix, and then got myself involved in making cards of baseball legends. They started out sepia, and then it evolved into a color series or two, a couple of color series, and up.
Hopefully we can get that squared away. Anybody got some mojo they can send his way? Some router mojo? All right, we got you back again, Mike.
Am I getting lost a lot here?
Yeah, a little bit. That's okay. We'll try it again, and if that doesn't work, we can always try your computer too. I know that was kind of our backup option. So.
Gotcha. There. Okay. So anyway, I'm making these cards and started to make some wax boxes, and ended up getting a lot of interest in them, and a lot of wholesalers across the country wanted them. So I took myself down to a candy factory down in Tacoma, and I bought a couple of what they call automated packaging DF wrappers, which actually I converted myself to wrapping baseball cards, and
Nice.
also made a few non-sports like Leave It to Beaver was in there. But I was able to produce these baseball legends at a quantity that I needed to make cases to ship all across the country, and that got me started as a manager that shipped products to sailors, then took them out to the stores, and then we evolved with a few more non-sport sets, and they were very successful. Like Andy Griffith was very successful, and I Love Lucy, and another series of baseball legends. And in 1991, I was able to get license for manufacturing NFL football cards, and that basically put us on the map as a full-blown manufacturer that got into a big sport. And then Pacific was able to make baseball cards, Major League and NHL hockey, and a few sports mixed in there. But the whole company turned into a pretty good sized manufacturing process. Designed them, had production facility for graphics, full design team, packaged.
You're muted.
We'll just try a couple more times, and if it doesn't get going, we'll have to come up with a plan C and try to get him either closer to the router or on his computer.
Yeah.
But did you guys hear some of that? I mean, I love that you talked about like getting a packing machine and converting it into packing up baseball cards. Like,
Yeah. So he was making packaging for Tops. Is that what I heard, or
no, for
something
his
with?
own companies, his own company, I think.
Okay. He bought something from Tops then.
Can you hear us okay, Mike?
We bought from 19. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
We bought from about 1972 or 3 through about 1980. I think it was about 1984. I bought basically all the closeouts that Tops had, cases, thousands and thousands of cases.
Okay.
When that was bought during the time I was fishing, and I just put the case in a storage and never touched them because I was too busy to mess with them. And what happened was my wife was uh, pregnant with our first child, and I was up in the Bering Sea. I called her, and she said, "These trucks going up, and our warehouse is full. You don't have any room for anything else." So I said, "Okay, then I got to do something." So I ran an ad in the Trader Speaks, which was an old hobby publication back then. Available was maybe 4 or 5 of these cases that I had a lot of, and I can't remember what I sold them for, but I think it was $40 or $50, and got thousands and thousands of orders right away from basically stores that had started up. And of course, I wasn't here to fill the orders, but my wife was having to mess with it and to help her, and it was getting too overloaded. So when we came back from the season that year, I basically didn't mean to, but I ended up retiring from the fishing business, doing the card full time. And then I started up my own store that was started in I think 1979, and that's where the manufacturing process started up, is right about that time.
I'm gonna throw out a real quick suggestion just to save the bandwidth, Mike. I mean, I know most of you is he kind of choppy for you guys as well, Will, Jeremy? Let's try turning the camera off, Mike. We'll be able to hear you just fine. That might keep it from dropping out. I think everybody knows that you're a real person. You're there. We see you. But there should be a way to maybe turn on the bottom, like to turn if you put stop cam. Maybe the camera will turn off, and then the audio should work a little bit better. And we're going to try this. Yep, I'm going to try this again. So hopefully that works. I'll tell them one more time. Maybe that'll work. I'm just thinking, then the audio will come through super clear, which in my opinion is better than being able to. Thanks for everybody for being patient with this. Appreciate it. So Mike, I don't know if you can hear me, but I have an idea. Let's try to turn the camera off. There should be a button at the bottom that says stop cam, and then we can hear you really well, but then we shouldn't have any more internet issues. So let's see if that works.
Cam. Oh.
There we go.
So turn off the cam?
Yeah, let's turn off the camera. We'll just go audio. There we go. Can you hear us okay?
Did that do it?
Yeah, I think so. Do you hear us?
Okay, so I turned off. Did that work?
Yes.
I can hear you. I can still see you.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds better too.
Yes.
Good. Okay, let's go with that. So, follow-up questions, guys, from there. Go for it.
Man, what an incredible story! Like out in the middle of the Bering Sea to.
So I'm not live.
No, you are. Yeah, you're still alive. We still hear you just fine. We're just not gonna see you, but we'll be able to hear everything that you say just fine.
Okay. Got it.
Anyway, sorry about that, Will. Go for it, man.
I had a question. You said that you had a machine that I didn't catch what it was originally used for, but you converted it to where it then made baseball card packs. Could you tell me again what that machine originally was used for, and how on earth did you reverse engineer this thing to wrap baseball cards? And how close was it? More of like a cello pack where it was like the cellophane wrapped cards, or was it more like?
It was used to manufacture candy bars, to wrap candy.
Man, that's so ingenious. So was it a pack that is more traditional of what we would think of as a pack of baseball cards now?
It was actually could wrap cello or wax.
Ah, okay. Interesting. That's awesome.
Oh, I got a question. So as a collector, I know the four of us, our dream would be to quit our real jobs to either own a card shop or start our own card business. I mean, how was that your dream? Was that what you always wanted to
I
do?
think I got lost.
Oh, Matt, you're muted.
It was. I think I lost you guys for a few minutes or a minute.
Yeah. So Tyler had a question, Mike. He had a question for you.
Can you hear me, Mike?
Okay.
Can you
I
hear me?
can. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So as a collector, I know the four of us, our dream would
Yes.
be to own a card shop or start our own card company or something like that. Something where we could quit our full-time jobs and just live that dream. Was that always something you knew you wanted to do, or was it just dumb luck that it kind of happened like that?
It was just dumb luck in some sense, but also me wanting to do it. It all came about, but I did have in mind that I wanted to manufacture cards in a big way, but I didn't start out with a plan to do that. It just happened. I manufacture cards. It just came about is what happened.
Huh.
I had a question about the early days of Pacific. So you said like 91, you got your NFL license, and then shortly after they kind of all the dominoes just kind of fell, or you got MLB, NHL, so on and so on. Those early years, like how long did it take you to get overwhelmed and realize, holy crap, I need like a whole team of people to churn these out? Or like how long was it just you and your wife in an office panicking, trying to figure out how you're gonna get all these sets produced?
It we kind of grew leaps and bounds, but once we got the NFL license, we were already able to produce whatever we wanted. And at that point, when we got the NFL license, we had to do the graphics outside. That was when it was all done by hand.
I'm trying to problem solve how we can keep this from happening in the middle of our show. We're gonna get it, man. We're gonna get it. Mike, I have a suggestion. I don't know if you know where the router is in your house, but it might work if you could maybe move, if you
Okay.
could move into the same room where that is. That might help us a little bit.
It's sitting on the router.
Oh,
You
it's
keep
sitting
saying
right on
moving closer. The thing's leaning against it. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah,
Um,
it should be. Let's try.
Let me get
let's
it
try
out here a
turn-
little bit. Maybe it was actually against the
Yeah, I'm not sure.
router.
Maybe if we had if the camera was turned off again, that might help. Just not draw so much bandwidth. Try it a couple more times. Jeremy, did you have a follow-up question to that Will said? I really. yeah,
Okay,
really
I'll
good
hit that
question.
camera.
Okay.
It shut off.
Okay. Perfect. That should work. All right. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Not really a follow-up question, but like once you kind of got your foot in the door and started creating like the main Pacific set, how did you kind of branch out into some of the other sets that you got into, like Paramount, Omega, kind of later on down the road, Revolution? What was the process behind kind of branching out into different sets?
I'm excited to hear about that too. So, I've got an idea for everybody that's watching, all 28 people. Thank you for being here. If everybody's patient enough, what we're going to do is I'm going to end this broadcast, and we're going to get Mike into in a situation where we can hear and see him a little bit easier. If everybody's okay with that, I think everybody in the group here think that we should do that. So we're going to work on that for just a few minutes. So keep your eyes on YouTube. I'm going to create a new broadcast. We will go in there and we will give it another try. Okay, so hang tight and keep your eyes on YouTube. See you guys soon.